Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. So out in the shop today and working on the little Samurai, getting it ready for an upcoming project that may have something to do with that right there, and that giant pile of parts over there. Not the BB gun, but the rest of it. With that said, I've got quite a bit to do. As you can see, I've got the cooling system all ripped out, radiator, fan shroud, fan. All the radiator mounts are out, piled up on the floor over here. And now I need to go about unhooking all of the electronics and vacuum lines and all that such, and getting it ready to come out. These engines aren't very difficult to pull, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to bore you with, but yeah, let's get going. So I've got everything disconnected electrically over here, other than I think we've got a power feed to the alternator, and we've got the main power feed going down to the starter. Other than that, all that is left is fuel lines, and I think we've got a heater core line left. And I'm going to unhook the exhaust. I'm going to disconnect it underneath and unbolt this header, go and take the header off, set it aside, and then it pretty well should be ready to unbolt the bell housing and the motor mounts and pull it out. These motors are very simple, especially the carbureted ones. Even the fuel injected ones are really simple. So this one is all but ready to come out, and it'll get there pretty quick. So we'll get this engine hopefully up out of here sometime tonight, if not tomorrow. And then we're going to pressure wash everything in the engine bay, get everything cleaned up, paint the frame, horns, and everything else, everything that's visible. If we've got anything that's getting rusty or anything like that, we're going to take care of that while the engine's out and get it ready to drop in the TDI. So yeah, it's slow progress, but it's progress. Well, I've been all around this thing. Everything is unhooked. Motor mounts are unhooked. I don't see anything still connected engine-wise. And you might be able to see I've got a gap already between the transmission and the motor. So this thing's ready to come out. Let's get the engine hoist over here and get it pulled. And there we have it. Engine is on the shop floor. And now we have room for all kinds of activities. So, next up, I need to get this outside. I'm going to pressure wash the engine bay out really well. I've got a few things I want to check as far as, there's a little bit of rust down in there, a little bit over there. I want to go on and treat all the rust that's in the engine bay. And I'm going to talk to the owner, but may go on and paint the engine bay. That way we can prevent any future rust issues. And I've got some other piddly stuff to do under here before we drop the new engine in, which is sitting over here patiently waiting on me. So I do have a new timing set and a few other things I have to throw on this one. I am swapping this pump out and going to go on and put the electronic pump on it, and we're going to figure that side out. So it'll be a full electronic AHU or 1Z swap when it's all said and done. I think that's going to be the most reliable and the best option for the owner. That way, if he does have a problem with the fuel system or something crazy down the road, he can get parts for it here in the States instead of having to go to Canada or Europe or something along those lines. But anyways, I got some stuff to clean up outside of the shop before I can get this out. So I'll bring you back when we get it rolled outside. Well, we got everything cleaned up as best we can anyways. Got a few decades of grease and dirt and mud out of the engine bay. Everything cleaned up pretty well. And now we'll be coming back with some Implement Low Gloss Black and Ford Red. I think we will paint the inner fenders and firewall red. Everything else is going to be a low gloss black, so the frame rails, front axles, frame horns, all that stuff will end up being black. I think it'll turn out pretty good. But for now, I've got to let this thing dry off a good bit, and then we will get it rolled inside and start painting. And after we get a coat of paint on it, that will wrap up this video, because we're going to have to let that dry. And we've got quite a bit to do to this engine to get it ready to go in place. So yeah. We'll be back soon. Well, it's been 24 hours, give or take, and everything under here that I'm going to be painting looks to be fairly dry. We'll go on and pull that battery, and pull the rubber mat out from underneath it as well. Get as much of this stuff moved, and we'll start painting. Hopefully we'll get all this cleaned up and get it fairly rust proofed as best we can, and we'll be ready to drop a TDI in it. It's getting there. Well, there we go. Got most everything red that I want red. And we're going to come back in here after the fact and paint the frame rails and probably the booster, some of the metal lines and such, all black. But it's getting there. Not sure if we're going to paint the underside of the hood yet. I might just black it out. We'll see. But yeah, almost there. Well, that's going to wrap up the engine bay, I think. I've gotten everything that needed a little bit of paint on it to protect it from rust that I won't be able to get to with the engine down in the bay taken care of. Once we get the engine put in, get the radiator, all that stuff put in, and get all the underhood stuff situated, I will be getting up underneath it and painting the frame, painting the inner fenders, front and rear, painting the axle housings, just giving a good cleanup and hopefully preventing any future rust issues. So next up, we're going to tear into this thing. We have a pile of parts laying over there in the corner. Clutch and adapter kits and flex plate or flywheels and everything to get this thing going. I also have to swap this pump out, and we'll go on and do a timing set and everything while we're at it. Clean everything up here, pressure wash the engine off, paint it up as well, and we'll be dropping it in. So that is going to be, at least part of that anyways, is going to be in the next video. So we're going to wrap this one up here. If you got any comments, questions, complaints, drop them in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a PayPal account set up. Link to that is in the video description. We've got super thanks enabled as well. You can also get our merch or our black diesel gear on the website www.notsograndgarage.com. If you would, hit that thumbs up button. It helps us out quite a bit and doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.